Okay, we're going to be showing how to use FileZilla today, and in conjunction we'll also be using PuTTy to connect to the server. But first we'll use FileZilla, which is used to connect to a server and then transfer files securely. First, we're going to be connecting to a virtual server that I have running here on my host machine, and the IP address for that is simply 192.168.1.2. The username for that server would be testuser1, and then we enter our password. Alright. And then for port, we're going to use SFTP. SFTP uses port 22, which is simply hit quick connect. We clicked OK. This is simply asking you whether you trust this server key here, and since we know which server we are connecting to, we do trust it. Give it a couple seconds to connect. You will know you're connected once you see information populated on this side. And as you can see, now it is populated. And on the left side, you can see it says local site. This side will show you all the directories and files on your host machine. On the right side, it will show you all the files and directories on the remote server. And what we want to do is upload one specific file up to the server. So over here we have it already selected on the directory that I want, and we just select the file that we want to upload, which is this one, museum.sql. We right click and we hit upload. Make sure you are selected on the correct directory on the right side. Hit upload, and it begins to upload to the server. As you can see here, it is connected to this address and its remote file right here to this directory, home test user MySQL, museum SQL, sorry. Give it a couple seconds to complete. It's asking us whether we want to overwrite because it exists. I did this before, and just go ahead and overwrite. As you can see, one successful transfer complete, and it is done. So just to double check whether or not that file is there, we could just check over here on the right side, and sure enough, there it is, museum.sql. And this is how you use FileZilla to safely transfer a file from your host machine up to a server. And as you can see, it is very simple. You just input the IP address up here, the username, the password, and the port. Make sure if you're using SFTP, make sure you put 22. If not, use 21 for FTP regular default. But since we're doing it securely, because securely means we're using password and username, then we have to use port 22. Next, we'll be showing how to use PuTTy. PuTTy is a SSH client that allows you to pretty much connect to servers and then remotely use them via the command line. So first thing we do is we enter the host address, which would be the address of our server. And as we did before in the previous example, we use the same IP address. And then we leave it at port 22 because SSH uses port 22. We click open. Once we click open, it's going to start another session basically. And what that session is what this window is. What it's asking us is to log in as the user. As in the previous example, it was testuser1. We hit enter, and we give it a second to bring back information to give us our password, login information. And there it is. As you can see, it's asking us to enter a password. We go ahead and do that. Now remember, on some sessions it will not show you anything, so you may think that you're not entering anything, but in actuality you are. So just hit enter, and there you can see we are logged into the Ubuntu server. This Ubuntu server is a version 12.04. As you can see, this is all that you will see. It does not have a GUI. By default, Ubuntu servers, or any Linux server for that matter, does not have GUIs. They run completely on the command line, and it may be intimidating, but in actuality it is not. And as we did before in the example for FileZilla, we transferred a file from our host machine up to this particular server, and you saw in FileZilla that the file was there, but how do we really know it's there? So to really know it's there, we can type in a simple command here in the Ubuntu server to show whether or not the file is actually there. That command is simply ls, which stands for list files. We hit enter, and as you can see, sure enough, there it is, museum.sql. And what are we going to do exactly once we have that file there? Well, we want to, that file, what it does, it creates the tables and the information that is needed for our museum database. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is we're going to log into MySQL-u, which stands for username, and then we type in the username -p, which will prompt up the password prompt, and we type in that password, and we are now logged into MySQL. So if you have not created a museum database, you go ahead and create that now, and it's just a simple command, create database, and then the name of the database, and then semicolon. Of course, we already did that before, so we're not going to do that now. But just to make sure it is in there, we will type in the command show databases. Don't forget the semicolon. And sure enough, there it is, databases, museum, the second one. So now that we know it is in there, we can type in source, and then the directory of where the file is located. And as we remember before from the FileZilla example, we know that that file is in this directory. If you don't remember, you can just simply ls that command, and it will tell you where it is. And this command here, source, is used to pretty much run scripts inside MySQL. Now, running scripts can be dangerous at times if you don't know what you're doing. So be sure you know what you're doing so you won't mess anything up or run anything malicious that will pretty much, do bad things to your server. So be careful what you're doing, and make sure you know which file you're running the script for. As we know, we uploaded this file ourselves, so we know it should be safe. And so we simply just hit enter once we do that. And as you can see, it tells us no database selected. So what happened? Well, we forgot to use the command use museum. Oops, we misspelled museum. S-U-E-M, museum. And this command will tell us, there we go. As you see, it shows database changed, which means that we are using the correct database now. So we can just simply hit up on the keyboard, up or down arrows, and as you can see, up down arrows brings you up the previous commands you have used. And we go back to this command that we were going to use originally, the source command, and we hit again. And as you can see, now it worked. We have no errors. And what exactly did that do for us? Well, as I said, it's going to help populate our database with tables that we need. So now if we type in the command show tables, semicolon, and there you go. You can see it has the tables that we need for our museum database. And if we also wanted to, we can populate this this database with information. All we have to simply do is type in a file that contains the data information that we use to populate this database. Of course, we don't have that file in here right now, but we can simply just use FileZilla as before to upload that file to this server, and then we use the source command, and we go ahead and input here, right here in this section right here, the name of that file, and just simply hit run. Hit enter, I'm sorry, and it will run the appropriate file. So that's pretty much how you run a script inside MySQL, how you connect to an Ubuntu server via PuTTy, and also how you transfer files to servers via FileZilla. We hit exit to exit our MySQL prompt, and to simply exit from PuTTy and the server, we just type in exit, and that's it.